Hey, okay, so doing things a little bit differently this week. This is, of course, my Spoilertastic weekly comic roundup. But I'm kind of testing the waters here to see what it's like to go live. So I am the officially unofficial geek. If you happen to see that I'm live and you're one of my normal people, go ahead, come on in, jump into the chat, and maybe we'll get a something going here. Okay, so um yeah. So this is the Spoilertastic weekly comic roundup. I'm doing this live to kind of prepare myself and see how it goes for um this Friday, because I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about some upcoming stuff that's happening real quick so I don't forget at the end of the video, because that would stink, and we've only got 4 comics to talk about today. So here we go. So this Tuesday, actually, what's really cool is I'm like actually not in my studio right now. I'm where most of my reading takes place. Um, so it's really funny. Yes, I see you too. We're in the same room. So the thing is going live. You can do like the chat, and my boyfriend actually just hopped on the chat and said, "I see you." It's funny. So here's the thing. Later on this week, let's talk about what's going on here. What's going to be happening? We're going to have a very special week. As some of you may have already heard or known or saw in one of my other videos, I recently reached my 1 year mark on YouTube. Yeah, so I talk a little bit about that and like everything that happened to get me to this point, or at least the start of this point, back on Friday, in my Friday flashback Friday, the first appearance of Jason Todd, aka why sometimes crises are okay. Um, but here's the thing. Next week is going to be a very special week of programming here and there. Still going to keep my regular schedule like I'm doing tonight, but I'm also going to be doing maybe some other stuff here and there, maybe a variation. Definitely a variation on what I normally do. However, the next broadcast I'm going to have is going to be up on Tuesday, which is my regular collected edition Tuesdays. I got it right here. Let's give you a little preview. It is Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. Oh my god, it's so good so far. I'm probably I am a third of the way through it, and I've got a motor after I'm done doing this video to read more. Wednesday, we're going to have the What's Happening Wednesday. Obviously, before I record What's Happening Wednesday, I'm going to be watching the last episode of the first season of the Book of Boba Fett. So probably going to end up talking about that, because hopefully something happens with Boba Fett in his own show. We'll see. But then Friday, we're going to do this again. We're going to be live again. And so if you didn't catch me doing my little impromptu live today, right now, you can catch me live on Friday, because Flashback Friday is going to be a live show, and it's going to be a little bit of an extended version, which means you got me for a while here, and I really am hoping people jump in the chat and say some stuff, and we can interact and we can do that thing. If not, that's fine. You'll catch it on the replay. But because you guys have known the first couple Flashback Fridays, first few of them that we've done, I've kind of tried, if possible, to tie them into the collected edition Tuesdays lately, and collection edition Tuesday this week. Obviously, I just showed you we're going to be doing Joker Harley Criminal Sanity, and what I'd like to do is we're going to do, because Harley is a special character near and dear to my heart. If you want to hear more about that, please, like I said, go watch Flashback Friday from this just a couple days ago. Harley is a character that's near and dear to my heart, and she's one of those characters that has like 3 first appearances. Not if you're counting cinematic, then it's more like 4. But she has 3 first appearances. You have the Batman the animated series where she made her first appearance, and then you have 2 different versions of the comic Harley making her first appearance, one in Batman the Adventures number 12, and then also in Batman Harley Quinn number 1. We're going to talk about those. We're also going to talk about the first appearance. We're going to talk. I did mention that. We're going to talk about the first appearance in Batman the Animated Series, and we're also going to talk about her 2 first appearances outside of continuity and inside of continuity in comic books. So I'm really excited about that. We might also have some special other things happen. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'd really like to see some people there, and if not, you'll catch it on the replay. But anyways, let's get to the comics. How shall we? As always, with the officially unofficial Geek Weekly, Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Roundup, we kind of do a little bit of a ranking system with the comics. So we always begin with the one that I least liked and go all the way to the one that I most liked. This week we have 4 comics. Not a lot to talk about, not a lot to get through, but we'll go ahead and we're going to get this started. And let me tell you something. There were minor problems with certain things that I read, not really anything major. So another week where Carrie mostly enjoyed what she read, but let's go ahead and start talking about them. First one we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about Detective Comics. Detective Comics 1051. Okay, so last week, because this has been weekly lately, because of the Shadows of the Bat series event type thing, last week we found out that Dr. Ocean is a psycho pirate, and Dr. Tobias Ware, I use air quotes because obviously he is not a real doctor. Dr. Tobias Ware is actually running a scam trying to get money from the Gotham city government, basically. And they're using Psycho Pirate to kind of mind meld with the residents of Arkham Tower. Well, the problem that you're running into is that Mr. Tobias Ware may have been asking too much of Psycho Pirate here, because unfortunately Psycho Pirate's hold on everyone is waning here, because you start seeing snippets and everything of people of his abilities suffering from overuse, and you have little instances of people going completely nuts. Usually this is involving anavulsion. And you also have the circumstances where the Huntress, Helena, has checked herself in to Arkham because she's actually looking for help, guys. She's actually looking for help because of all the visions she has involving stemming back to the parasite that inhabited her and attacked her a number of issues back. So we have that kind of happening here and there. The drugs that Tobias Ware is filtering to the street, there's problems with those as well. Some of them appear to just be like caplets of salt and sugar, and people are catching on, and that's never good when you're basically when you're a provider and you're cheating. You're basically cheating a major operation like organized crime that goes into, selling drugs and making money. If you mess with their business, they're going to mess with you, and that's only a matter of time before that probably happens. Okay, so we get this circumstance where you have basically the entire so like the Psycho Pirate, he kind of loses his hold, and when he does that, everyone starts freaking out and started, attacking everyone. And the only person that really has like any kind of senses whatsoever besides anyone on the staff is Helena Huntress, and she sees what's started and what's going on. She sees that she is actually in a session with Dr. Meridian at the time, and she actually sees what's going on, and she goes and she is like, you know what, you need to lock the door, and she runs off and she's gonna go deal with all this stuff. So that's kind of where we leave it. Somebody, Tobias Ware Burson, he's like, you got to get a hold of yourself to Dr. Ocean, Psycho Pirate. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And you look around Psycho Pirate's like office, he's got like tons of like used monster cans, that kind of thing. So he has to try and stay awake the whole time. So now that's probably taking a toll on him and all that. So one, he's losing it completely. It's taking too much time to get this check from the city. And now we kind of see where when the whole story started, and it kind of showed us the climax of everything. We see how this is going to progress to this point. And it just keeps building and building. And I like to say that we finally saw something really happen. Once we had this, reveal that Psycho Pirate was Dr. Ocean, and Tobias Ware really is not who he said he was. He is really just a big old, fart nugget. Okay. And so now things are finally starting to go. But the thing is like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, things are finally starting to move. We've been doing this weekly, and it just seems like this buildup did not have enough of intensity and tension in it. When you're doing something like this, it does not help enough to just say, hey, look, guys, we're going to eventually get to this point where everything's like blowing the fuck up. You still need to have the tension in the buildup here. And we don't really have the tension in the buildup here the way I personally would like to see. But I'm going to keep going because I do want to see where this goes. I really do. I really do want to see where this goes. So, guys, let's go ahead and we're going to move on to Batman 120. Hell yes. Fucking finally, guys. Finally. Thank you, Batman gods. Because this is some good shit. You know what? Josh Williamson is him and Tom Taylor appear to be Mr. DC. Mr. DC right now, because Joshua Williamson has given us a story that I did not have a lot of faith in the beginning, but this issue really kind of brought it for me. Like, it really brought it. We've got Batman is blind, okay, right? So we've got that going down. And then you've got the detective trying to help him, and the detective gets him out of the building, which is good. They pretend he's a dead body, that he's Abyss's dead body, but you and I both know, because we're reading it, Batman, and the detective know that Abyss is not dead, because Abyss is the reason that Batman is blind right now. So Batman is trying to be like, I gotta get someplace dark so I can try to figure out what's going on with me, and because I don't want anyone to see me, that kind of thing. All right, so she gets him back to her place and lets him sit in the dark corner. It's all good. all good. And so when she lets him go sit in the dark corner, everything's cool. So he then is trying to piece everything together, and he realizes, man, you know what? I don't know what's going on with Batman Inc., but I got to get to Batman Inc. And she's just like, well, Batman Inc. is all in prison. So you're going to have to do something with that. So they figure that out. And he goes and he tries to rescue Batman Inc. And he's just like, what's going on, guys? What's the deal here? And they're all like, we're not with you anymore. We're no, we don't like you. So Batman has had the thought and the feeling that Lex Luthor has been the reason that Batman Inc. is not on board with Batman anymore. He has thought that's how he thought that was going down. But it's actually not completely correct, because what happens is Abyss, after blinding Batman and fighting him, goes and finds Lex Luthor, and you're like, okay, well, what's going on there? Because Lex Luthor's like, okay, well, things didn't work out quite the way we planned, but let's, talk about this a while. But no, Lex is already prepared for the fact that Abyss wants, action in the bad way, and is already wearing one of his suits that's like a bat suit. And so Batman then cut back to Batman, and Batman's getting Batman Inc. out of prison to find out that they are definitely not with him anymore, and that not only are they not with him anymore, but Batman's theory about how Lex Luthor is their leader now is completely trashed as well. What you find out is that Abyss is their leader now. And they're like, you could come to the darkness and help us defeat Lex Luthor. Because even though Lex Luthor gave us money, we're not with him. Abyss is our leader. And that was basically the end of things. Lex Luthor's there, and he's like, okay, you don't even get this, okay? Because here's what's going on. And then they finish telling Batman, Abyss is our leader. And the end of the issue basically kind of alludes to the fact that, or the possibility, more like that, Batman and Lex Luthor might have to fight on the same side. That's going to be interesting. I think any story that kind of puts Lex Luthor to the forefront is obviously going to be pretty interesting and possibly very exciting and thought-provoking, especially since we haven't had a lot of Lex Luthor. And now all of a sudden we're getting Lex Luthor. We're getting Lex Luthor and Batman. And we did get a little bit of Lex Luthor in Superman Son of Kal-El recently. So we're getting some Lex Luthor now after not having a lot of Lex Luthor in a long time. So that's cool. Let's see where this goes, because you know what? There's some damn fine writing. And I love the art too at times. Like, especially, look at this fucking cover. That is a badass cover. But that last oh golly, that last page. No, now I got into the second story now. Secondary story was not that bad either. Either of the issues that I read so far, or talked about so far. Hi, Sheena's in the chat. Hi, Sheena. Hi. So yeah, that's the last page of Batman this month. That is just amazing. That's just amazing. That little team dynamic there. That was they weren't planning on that. Batman was not planning on that one, because yeah. Batman's definitely not planning on that one. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk to you guys about today is okay, so the last two really were hard for me to decide which I liked better. Okay. So this is one of those weeks where sometimes I'm just sitting there, I'm like, do I want this to be the best? Do I want this to be the best? And I keep on going back and forth, but you know what? It's pretty much a tie this week. It's pretty much a tie this week with these two. So, um first one I'm going to talk about is Justice League Incarnate number 4. Oh my goodness. Okay, so because we do have someone in the chat, Sheena's here in the chat, I'm just going to preface the rest of this with I'm going to mention again that we're going to be talking spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. This is a spoilertastic video, and I'll give you a second to leave if you need to. um, so, okay. All right, we're going to talk about Justice League Incarnate now. All right. Um, so if when you study psychology, you find out about Carl Jung, and Carl Jung has this idea, and you see it applied a lot to things like this, like superhero comics, the hero's journey type of things. Oh, you see it a lot in Star Wars. People talking about shadow psychology, how it's kind of like the yin and the yang. Like nothing is completely 100% good. Nothing is completely 100% bad. Well, what happens if something is so bad, so horrible, that the bad guys, the traditional bad guys, and the good guys have to work together and find an even ground? This is kind of where this is going. If we're looking for we've had because this is another Williamson this week. Just talked about Williamson, with Batman. If we have Williamson and we've heard about it, we've talked about it. Surely most people have talked about it. Surely most people have read or heard about Justice League 75. We know it's coming. I have my own theories and thoughts and ideas involving Justice League number 75. And we definitely see ourselves walking towards something epic here. And it's going to go down. And it's probably going to go down a little too fast for my tastes. But okay, I'm here for it. Because if it's going to be writing and issues like Justice League Incarnate has been to this point, and Justice League Incarnate number 4 has been this week, this month, wow. Wow. It's a wow. It's a wow, and I'm going to tell you why. Because one, people going to learn. People going to have to learn in these stories. The heroes, the villains, because something is coming, and it's been hinted at throughout this whole thing. And the thing is what's really cool is that it's finally coming together. It's finally all those hints are finally coming together, and the hints are finally building up to what is going to give us that major moment that we've been kind of talking about up to this point. One of the really cool things about this issue is that it gives a little bit of a history lesson. Yeah, they are going to learn today. Yes, they are going to learn today. Yes, indeed. Indeed. They definitely learn in this issue because one of the biggest baddies in the universe, in the multiverse, is Darkseid. Okay? Now, when you have President Superman, Captain Carrot, and all of them, having to sit there and be like, ooh, ooh, no, we can't work with Darkseid. We can't, right? We can't do that, right? When you have them sitting there and being like, we can't work with Darkseid, we can't do this, we can't do this, we're not going to ever work with Darkseid, even though basically they have seen evidence to this point that this isn't just about Darkseid. There is something bigger past Darkseid. It's hard to believe, but there is. And so, whew, we have a moment where we have the basically the equivalent to Doctor Strange, and it's this lady here on the cover. There is a universe in DC in the multiverse that is basically like a carbon copy, but with different names of the Avengers. And that is where Dr. Multiverse comes from. And she's like, okay, guys, here's the thing. I don't want to admit it. I don't want this, but in order for everything to be okay, we must basically let Darkseid win. We need to let him win and or work with him. So pretty heavy shit. This is Darkseid here, guys. This is Darkseid. Like, but one of the things they do in the beginning of this issue is they go through a little bit of a history, because obviously DC has had its share of crises, and so you get history lesson. So the first few parts of everything is basically exposition, explanation, and we get through that much of the comic. I don't know if you can. That much of the comic is sitting there. Yeah, Darkseid is, because, and he does say that in the comic too. I don't know if you've gotten to read it, Sheena, but he does say that. So you get through a good portion of this, and then and even this page included, where you have Dr. Multiverse, finishing her explanation of why she's doing what she's doing, what she thinks has to be done. And then you get to the point where she says, yes, Darkseid must win. Whew. This is some heavy shit here. And this is crazy, because he's just like, the absolute enemy of existence is also the enemy of evil. So the darkness, who is the enemy of existence, is not just the enemy of everything good, the enemy of everything that is chaos, that is bad. So it is a common enemy. It is a common enemy that is bigger than all of them. And yeah, so Darkseid, of course, has his own way of doing things and his own way of going about things, right? So it looks like it's starting to go that way, but everyone is still resisting, okay? And you get to the point where Dr. Multiverse is like kind of actually struggling with everything. She's really struggling, actually. And Thomas Wayne, which is part of Justice League Incarnate right now, comes up to her, and he has a syringe in his hand, and he goes and he leans behind her, puts a hand on her shoulder. And President Superman is like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, I'm going to give her a sedative to help her calm down. And he's like, President Superman is like, dude, I have microscopic vision. You're not just giving her a sedative. So basically, you're sitting there and you're reading this and you're like, Thomas Wayne about to kill Dr. Multiverse in front of everybody. What? What the heck? Okay, so When Thomas Wayne is about ready to kill Dr. Multiverse, he gets stopped, and he's like, "Don't you understand it? We're all better off if she's dead," and that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, like this dark, like mist type stuff starts spewing out of his mouth, right? Thomas Wayne has been affected by the darkness. All that is dark, all that is rallies against reality or existence has now infected Thomas Wayne, and now he has to die. So Darkseid's like, don't you see what's going on here, guys? And he basically vaporizes Thomas Wayne. Heavy shit, right? Heavy shit. So you think that you've gotten past all the heavy shit. But no, there's more. Nay, there is more. There is more heavy shit to get through, because here's the thing. They know where they're going to have to go to fight the darkness. So Darkseid and his armies go there, and it's like, let me tell you guys, this is epic stuff, okay? First off, I'm going to show you an image of Thomas Wayne getting vaporized. What is that? Holy shit, right? So, oh man. So, first off, he vaporizes Thomas Wayne. Yeah. It's epic. And we're not even to the most. You think Thomas Wayne getting vaporized like that by Darkseid is the most epic shit you're going to see in this issue? Hold on. So Darkseid's like, pathetic. I've yet to meet a Superman who could overcome the weakness of humanity, because President Superman tries to stop him. This is war. Accept the casualties and fight before only nothing is left. As for you, Maya, that's the Dr. Multiverse. You are not strong enough for this burden the multiverse has put upon your shoulders. Let me wield it instead. So basically, Darkseid takes everything, the firebolt and the crack in the universe, and takes it into his hand, and it looks like a firebolt, like a lightning bolt. And he's like, I'm going to go wield it, and I'm going to go take care of everything. So he's like, onward to battle, my legions, Darkseid is. And they, take a boom tube. Did I say boob tube? Boom tube out of there. Okay. So they're sitting there like Justice League Incarnate's like in shock. They're trying to figure out what the hell, what just happened here. And so basically Captain Carrot, voice of reason here. It's like, okay, here's the thing. We're not seriously going to join up with this guy, right? They're like, I don't know, basically they figure out, I don't know if we have a choice. And basically Captain Carrot is like, okay, so we're going to go and we're going to join up with this guy, but we're also going to take care of him after we're done, right? Because that's what we do. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to do that. So they go ahead and they take their journey to where Darkseid is. And when they get there, it's not going well for Darkseid. FYI. Because let me show you more epicness right here. Okay, so we have a 2-page spread where basically the darkness is this big godlike figure. And he's like, you have done well, Darkseid. The multiverse is weakened and ready for oblivion. Look at this epicness. See, this dude over here, he's the bad customer here. And look at all of this. Wow. And you got like little Darkseid compared to like big old dude over here, right? Oh my goodness. But the thing is, it's like Darkseid is like, okay, so like I compare this to the moment in Infinity Wars when Thor is going to take the the axe and be like, "Okay, I'm going to, axe, Thanos here." And Thanos is just like, "Huh, you should have gone for the head." Comparative moment here, guys, comparative moment, because um so really what happens is Darkseid is like, he says, "My resurrection was a fatal misstep on your part, on the part of your master, for I am not only a plague on the light, but also on the dark." And that happens where basically you have, hey, oh deadly dark side indeed, basically taunts him. Okay, this dude taunts Darkseid. All right. um you are the greatest fool in the universe and beyond, and Darkseid's like, inconceivable. um if you watch Princess Bride, you know why that's funny. um so he's like, impossible, my power is absolute, the crack should have destroyed you. And he's like, no, absolutely not. All you've done is deliver me the final component of my oblivion machine. Soon, the great darkness will be birthed into this multiverse, and the pains of labor will shatter the entire omniverse beyond it. My hand is no longer empty, and you, epicness awaits, are no longer required. Damn. Damn. So our heroes show up and find it's not going well for Darkseid. Now, they were not all together. Some of them were separated, and a lot of them ended up crashing on this universe, on this planet. Hi, Mary. So boom, yeah, yeah. So, Mary, just so you know, we are spoilertastic. So if you have not read, um, right now we're talking about Justice League Incarnate, number 4. You might lose some surprise here. So, I appreciate you stopping by. I just want to make sure that you are aware. I don't want to spoil anything for you. So here we go. More end here. Okay, so the darkness, as you remember, the darkness infected Thomas Wayne. So Thomas Wayne then gets vaporized by Darkseid, and you have them ending up eventually on the same planet as everything going on. But like I said, some of their crew ended up on this planet already. So they have not found them yet. They didn't find them right away at first. But let me tell you something. They found them, and it's not good. Because if you remember, Thomas Wayne got all like vaporized and stuff. Before he got vaporized, he was spewing the darkness. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's not looking good for our heroes. But I probably talked about Justice League Incarnate more than I would talk about any other issue this week, because it's just so complex and so oh gosh, complex. Do I want to use the word convoluted? Because convoluted sounds kind of negative. But because I really liked it, I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it, and I love everything I've been reading. One with Infinite Frontier, that limited series. The all of Justice League Incarnate so far, which that is issue 4 of 5, right? So I've been really enjoying it, and it's one of those things where it's like, even though I've been really enjoying it, I've been kind of struggling to sit there and figure out how are we going to get to the point where we're going to get to where Williamson takes over Justice League and the Justice League dies. I still have my thoughts on that. I think it's not going to actually be the Justice League. I think it's going to be a Justice League, or it's figurative. Either way, still. I was struggling to see how we were going to get there, and then just a lot happened back there. Blew my mind. But yeah, if you are sleeping on Justice League Incarnate, it is like I said, that was just the 4th issue. Run to your store, see if you can pick up issues 1 through 4 and just catch on up, because that was really great. If you find that this is enjoyable, go ahead and go back and read the Infinite Frontier, I believe it was 6-issue series that happened late last year. That I really enjoyed, and that was a lot to chew on, because that brought us to this point. And yeah, so there's the possibility, let me think here. I am not exactly sure, but there may be the possibility some of the earlier issues of Infinite Frontier, the Infinite Frontier main title. Like, if you're familiar with DC titles, you'll know that there was the banner, the Infinite Frontier banner that was on some of the titles when they first switched over after Death Metal. But the actual Infinite Frontier main comic, where you get introduced to the team that's comprising of President Superman, Captain Carrot, Thomas Wayne, all that. That starts out in that Infinite Frontier. Yeah, I believe it's 6-issue set. Since, considering we're in February, you might be able to score the beginning issues of the Infinite Frontier line, possibly on DC Infinite if you have it. Possibly. But I spent like a shit ton of time talking about that, and I gotta actually get to the one that's in the number 1 position for me this week, which should need no introduction. But that man, that wonder, that wonderful, wonderful human being, Tom Taylor, wrote this, and it is Dark Knights of Steel, number 4. And let me tell you something, if you're on Twitter and you don't follow Tom Taylor, he is a gem. Just FYI. So Dark Knights of Steel, guys. Whew. Here's the thing. In the first issue of Dark Knights of Steel, you have this bomb that's basically dropped on Bruce Wayne, on Bruce. Yeah, it was damn good. Bruce Wayne has gone through his entire life thinking he is the son, for sure, of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Well, as fun retellings of the story outside of continuity can tell you, you definitely can get to the point where all that legend and all that shit goes out the window. And that's one of the things that Tom Taylor has talked about liking about writing things like that. Yeah. Tom Taylor has actually said in interviews what he really loves about writing these out of continuity stories is that basically a lot of the times the sky's the limit. When writing these things, he can turn Bruce Wayne into a half Kryptonian. Okay, if he really freaking wants to, which is exactly what he did here. So in that first issue, he basically gets the knowledge that his mom had a night, one night is all it took, with with Martha Wayne. Yeah. So whew. See, the thing is like I'm pretty sure that Jor-El had no intention of dying, and he was really kind of looking on like building upon that whole situation. But unfortunately, right after he announces to Bruce, "Hey, guess what? You're actually my son." He gets shot he gets shot in the freaking eye, killed. So, whoops. Um, maybe you should have told him inside. Who knows? Um, but so this is one of those circumstances where, like, all the adults knew what happened, but none of the kids in the situation. So you can rest assured that Kal-El didn't know. You can obviously Bruce just found out, but Bruce is actually the rightful heir to this kingdom. It's really interesting. The thing is this issue, the storyline doesn't really progress forward in this issue. But here's the thing: you got a limited series of 12 issues, and we needed this issue to happen. We needed a little bit more of a background as exactly why this was going on, and why this had happened. And so while this didn't really move any kind of action forward, this was needed because Bruce finally got to have a fireside chat with his trusted Alfred, and Alfred gave him the 411 on everything that was happening. Let me tell you something. Oh, I had something weird happen to my computer. Okay, here we go. Let me tell you something. This is art. This is art. And I don't typically, I like watching fantasy, right? I don't particularly like reading fantasy. Fantasy meaning high fantasy, like knights, swords and sorcery, that kind of thing. I don't particularly like reading it. I'm more of a let's go ahead and watch Lord of the Rings and all that and not read it. And that's just me. That's just me. For that kind of thing, I just react better to watching it. But let me tell you something. I read the shit out of this. And I love it. Every issue, and I have to just really like I don't even know. Like Tom Taylor made me like fantasy apparently. I don't know. That's just how it is. Yeah, like at the end where it's like, and you know what's really fucking cool? Oh, excuse me. You know what's really fucking cool about some of the characters and the way that they are presented? Because that end, yes, the end is somehow, and this is really funny because I was just talking about Lex Luthor earlier, in how it's really fun that they're using a lot more Lex Luthor, like in Son of Kal-El, in Batman. And it's like we haven't seen a lot of Lex Luthor lately, and now Lex Luthor is having this, reemergence, this, this renaissance of Lex Luthor, and I didn't realize I'd be that here for it, but I am. And I thought it was really kind of interesting how Tom Taylor took Lex Luthor and paired it with the Joker, paired it with the Green Man, which is the Green Lantern. like all of those characters just meshed up and going all like this, all in one. And I didn't think I would like some shit like that, but I do. Another character you don't see in this issue, because like I said, it's all just explaining the whole storyline of how Bruce is Jor-El's son. I really love the position of Harley Quinn, because obviously Harley's one of my faves, and the position of like the typical court gesture slash advisor to the kingdom. And I love it. I love how there's this one moment and a couple issues ago where she's like, you know, telling telling Bruce that she that the bat cowl doesn't make her afraid. She really just wants to pet him all the time. Um so like yeah, more Harley, and I love um I love when they refer to the Lady of the Forest, and how they need Harley to go talk to the Lady of the Forest. And I see that being, I see that totally being Poison Ivy. And I'm here for that, because anything to bring Poison Ivy and Harley together in a comic book, let me tell you, love Harley Quinn, love Poison Ivy. If I ever do a video where I talk about my like collection, there's a lot of Harley Quinn in there. Lots of Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. Probably more Harley Quinn than Poison Ivy, but if you're collecting Harley Quinn, you're collecting a lot of Poison Ivy as well, because they're so close, you know. Yeah, basically I have the viewpoint that it is not the Joker, it is Poison Ivy that is Harley Quinn's love of Harley Quinn's life. I you know what, I'm playing around with doing something like that, just talking about the highlights of what I have. I'm looking to get a few more of my grails. And actually, oh my goodness, I forgot to confirm. I do this on eBay a lot, actually. So like while you guys are here, while you're listening, let me see if I get to celebrate here, because not Harley Quinn. It's not a Harley Quinn one, but it is. I refer to him a lot as my comic book boyfriend, but my comic book boyfriend is Jason Todd. Red Hood, Jason Todd, love him. And let me see here. I did it. Guys, I won. I won. Hey, BJ Kicks is in the chat. Hi. Hi. Yay. Hi. So I recently just won. Okay, so I recently just did a overview of Under the Red Hood. And my collected edition Tuesdays last week. And I loved it, and there was one particular issue that I loved above the whole storyline, which is the Batman Annual number 25 from 2005. And I went ahead and I bid on a CGC copy of it. Let me see if I can get it to come up here. See if it'll allow me to show it off. It might not, because, oh, there we go. It's a 9.6 of the Batman Annual, with the cover that was a jock cover that was a homage to a pro from, okay, so those of you that know about Jason Todd know that he was killed by the Joker, basically, and there's this iconic cover where Batman is cradling Jason Todd, and after Jason Todd is killed by the Joker, and after he pulls him out of everything. And then Batman Annual number 25 which is basically kind of telling us how did Jason go from being dead to not dead. Okay. And it gives us like a little bit of the history of it. And I absolutely love this homage cover. Let's see if you can kind of see it on the video. And it's Batman Annual number 25. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I want it. It's now mine. So like that is yes, BJ. It is such a dope cover. It is so awesome. I love it so much. And now it is mine. I rule. So that is one of the ones that is going to be a staple in my collection. Yeah, I spend way too much time on eBay getting stuff and looking for stuff. I try not to just look for me. Like the thing is my boyfriend has this want of looking for Jonah Hex stuff. So if anybody ever has, okay, I'll see you soon. Bye, Sheena. My boyfriend has this love of Jonah Hex. I've been looking for stuff for Jonah Hex too, but it's like not a lot of really good quality stuff out there for Jonah Hex. So I'm always on the lookout for that. So if anyone ever sees any Jonah Hex, that is a thing that I'm looking for. But eBay is something that I do spend a little bit of time cruising. I have obviously I'll probably do an unboxing involving that one when I get it. But I do have a few. I have another one. I haven't opened yet that's from eBay. And I'm waiting for something else to come in, but yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm probably not gonna wait for this one to arrive before I do the other one, but that's gonna be fun. And it's a 9.6, so that ain't half bad, 9.6. And let me tell you something, I got that for a deal. Okay. That is $40. A 9.6 CGC of that iconic cover. That's pretty good. At $40. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. I like finding those deals. I like doing that. But okay, so that's about it for now. I'm gonna head out here and all that jazz. This has been the Spoilertastic weekly comic roundup. I usually do not do this live. Oh, you do. That would spoil the video. So if anyone else is watching, Sheena, if you see the end of this, I don't know if you've left yet. BJ Kicks is an awesome YouTuber. You should check him out. And he does lots of unboxings. He does reviews. He does oh gosh, the volume of omnibuses that this guy looks at and he gets just I'm regularly jealous watching his videos. But oh my goodness, yeah. So this has been my weekly comic roundup. Like I said, I don't usually do this live. I did this just kind of try everything out because I'm getting ready to be doing my live show that I'm going to be doing in honor of the anniversary of my channel. That's going to happen on Friday, and I'm going to tell you again, it's going to be my Flashback Friday episode where I'm going to be talking about the 3 first appearances of Harley Quinn. Tuesday, I'm going to be doing Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Wednesday, what's happening Wednesday? We're probably going to be talking about the last episode of Book of Boba Fett. So, as always, got stuff going on. So, and I think I'm actually going to finally get some of this stuff like showed. Gosh, you would think I'd be better about English. So I'm probably going to be able to show off some of the stuff that I've gotten recently, and one of my other eBays that I haven't opened yet. I'm probably gonna sandwich that in somewhere. But yeah, first, my next live will be this Flashback Friday. We're going to be talking a lot about Harley Quinn because Harley Quinn is special and dear to me. I'm also wearing my Gotham Flamethrowers t-shirt, which is a Harley Quinn t-shirt. It's actually Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey movie. It's the name of her roller derby team. So, yeah, that's anyways, this has been I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to head out for now. This has been the officially unofficial geek, the Spoilertastic weekly comic roundup. And until later, I'll be seeing you guys. Thanks for coming.